Careful what you wish for, guys, because when you finally get offered your grail watch, you may not actually be able to afford it. I almost didn't do this video when I looked at the entire Daytona range of 24 watches and realized that only 4 of them were available to a walk-in. I thought, you know what, there's no point. But one of you out there might actually want this watch, and now you're armed with the correct information to go and get it. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be covering how to get a Rolex Daytona in 2024 from an authorized dealer as a walk-in. It is still possible, guys. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Let's get into this video. Right, no BS. There are 4 models that are available to you as a walk-in with no buy history from most authorized dealers at the moment. There's 2 to 6 to a year wait for this particular watch. Unfortunately, it's the Rolex. It's the two-tone gold, which is a gorgeous watch, by the way. Current MSRP is just over £17,000, and they currently make the watch in 4 versions: a white dial, a beautiful gold dial, and a black dial. My preference is the black dial, would you believe? They also make a black diamond dial with gold sub-dials. Gorgeous watch. Part of the reason that watch is now available is the current MSRP is ridiculous. However, I would rather buy that watch than go to the grey market and pay $22,000 to $26,000 for a brand new black stainless steel, or $24,000 to $30,000 for a brand new white stainless steel. It just makes more sense to me. Back to this watch without losing track. I was offered this watch and I could have had this watch. I just don't like the fact it doesn't have a ceramic bezel. If this watch had a ceramic bezel, I would actually buy this watch. If you can see past the lack of a ceramic bezel, go for it. Now, this is a true story. If you have some kind of a buy history, you can go straight to an Oyster Flex. You can get a Ghost, or you can get a reverse Ghost. And that watch is a gold case, but it does have the ceramic bezel that I want. But the watch is extremely expensive. It's over £26,000. And again, I could have that watch if I wanted to, because I actually have a buy history. Remember, this watch you're going to need a buy history for. The gold Rolex, you're not going to need a buy history for. But the only problem with the Ghost, and I keep getting people asking me about the Ghost, is they're thinking they're buying an investment, and you're not, guys. You might see Ghosts selling on the pre-owned watch market, well, trying to sell for $27,000, which is just a touch above MSRP. And you might hear the honest watch dealer telling you about the Pikachu being a fantastic investment. It's not, guys, because if you tried to sell him one today, he wouldn't buy it off you. He just wouldn't. He would sell it for you on consignment, and you would be lucky to get your money back. In this day and age, I think you would lose money on a Pikachu. I honestly do. So don't buy a Ghost or a reverse Ghost thinking you're going to make money on the watch, because you're not. A lot of these Daytonas are losers if you go to flip them, guys. Now, we all know that the 2 stainless steel models are winners, but you will not get offered a stainless steel black or white dial Daytona without a massive spend history. Even though I don't agree with paying all that money on the grey market, that is your only option if you want an all steel Daytona in 2024. But remember, I've covered this in the past. If you see a white dial Daytona for under 20,000 on eBay, and they want you to meet them in a car park, and they're offering you the watch for 18,000, it's a fake, and you've just been done. Please, guys, if you're going to spend this kind of money on a pre-owned Daytona, or a Daytona that was bought at an AD and then immediately flipped, you better make 1,000% sure the watch is real. And I don't know how you do that, guys. Now, you say you trust the dealer or you buy the dealer, but a super clone, even the ADs can't tell the difference. So be very careful out there if you're going to spend top money on a Daytona. So be very careful out there if you're going to spend top money on a Daytona. Now, my preferences are different, guys. If I want to wear a watch that looks like a Daytona, I'm going to wear a completely different watch. If I'm going to want to wear a timing watch, I'm going to wear a Snoopy, guys. I just prefer the Snoopy. I just do. Now, back to the rest of the range. It's so hard to get enthusiastic about watches that aren't available. The Le Mans isn't available. The Platinum isn't available. Most of the golds are only available to people with a previous buy history. You can get some of the Oyster Flex Daytonas with a previous buy history too, and those watches used to be impossible to get, but that's purely because the markets are down, so demand has reduced. And I just keep thinking, why bother do a video about what Rolex Daytona watches are available to a walk-in? And yet I have found I can confirm that the 4 Rollersaurs that I am telling you about are available to a walk-in with no buy history. Probably because the new MSRP is £17,000, but that is the current state of the market, guys. Will the steels ever become available to walk in? Forget about it, guys. Those lists are long gone, long closed, and the only people that are jumping the list for these watches are people with massive spending power. I hope this video helps one person. If it just helps one person, then I've done my job. I can't do a Rolex Daytona story without sharing a subscriber story with you. He's also a friend, by the way. My Grail watch was a Snoopy, and I got it. Very happy with it. And I would like a Daytona, but I am living in the real world, guys. I know that you can't have a stainless steel Daytona without a massive, massive buy history. That's just the way it is, guys. So, a good friend of mine said to me, I would like a Daytona. I explained it all to him till I was blue in the face, and he didn't listen to me. He went into Rolex AD, and the first words out of his mouth, God love him, was, I would like a Daytona. They eventually shooed him out of the shop. No Daytona, obviously. Anyway, a year later, I've got a relationship with another AD, and I told him the story of the Daytona guy, and I said how genuine he was, whatever. And they said to me, things have slightly changed. Would you like a two-tone Rollersaur? Because either of these 3 are available within a reasonable amount of time. I fed it back to him. He said, sure, great, fantastic. I then went back to this AD, said he's just picking the watch. And I felt like the hero. I finally got him a Daytona, and then the penny dropped, God love him. He hadn't realised that the bloody watch was £17,000 and change, and realised he couldn't afford the thing in the first place. And I said to him, hang on a minute, what prices do you think they were? He genuinely thought the prices on Chrono were so inflated that if he got one from an authorized dealer, they would be cheap. And I was like, well, how much do you expect them to sell them for? Not 17,000 in his brain. Now, in fairness to him, he hadn't done his research, but how can a watch be your grail and you haven't done your research? I knew what the MSRP was this when I wanted it, and I knew what it was when I purchased it. And even though I've owned it a year, I now know the current MSRP is £10,000. You just do when it's your Grail watch. Anyway, long story short, I got him his Grail watch when I was halfway there, wasn't I? And he bloody turned it down. I got confirmation that if he had gone ahead, he would have had the watch now. He would. And again, I was very tempted to say, well, do you know what? If he doesn't want it, I'll have it. But the watch just isn't right for me, because I really would like it with a ceramic bezel. Careful what you wish for, guys, because when you finally get offered your grail watch, you may not actually be able to afford it. I almost didn't do this video when I looked at the entire Daytona range of 24 watches and realized that only 4 of them were available to a walk-in. I thought, you know what, there's no point. But one of you out there might actually want this watch, and now you're armed with the correct information to go and get it. Thank you for all your support. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. And remember, this is just my opinion, and opinions are like assholes, and everybody has one. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.